Hello. If you're watching this video, you found my second channel. This is BlackRock Editor, who is definitely not Onyx Dude. So if you're new here, welcome. This video is like part introduction, part me kind of explaining like what this channel is gonna be for. But basically, uh I make edited content on my main channel, Onyx Dude on YouTube, and I talk about the editing process on this channel. And anything that I don't think would be good enough for like, you know, the main channel or like Twitter, I'll just either post it on my second account on Twitter or I'll post it here. But Twitter not having as many ways to kind of talk about like the process like in depth, not in a way that I like anyway. So I'll I'll just talk about it on here. Okay. 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 So, um, the first video I guess I want to like kind of talk about is the Gordo backdash edit. Um, you probably seen on my Twitter, and hopefully by the time I upload this video, I'll have the mirror up on my actual main Twitter, main YouTube account. Um, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes here. I mean, this edit was all made entirely in DaVinci Resolve, the free version. I do have access to Premiere, but I haven't really got into the nitty gritty of it. It was either gonna be Premiere or Sony Vegas, or I guess just keep working on DaVinci. But I mean, there's things for the free version of DaVinci that just you kind of have to pay for, like the ability to like rotoscope out characters and just like delete a character and have like AI fill in the background is like that's a paid feature. It's like object removal, uh, which kind of sucks. That's paid. I mean, you could try using it, but like it'll put like this really ugly like watermark that you can't seem to get rid of. So just no real particular reason to really do something like that. So um yeah, so the video itself, the concept was inspired by Munchie Jr. Munchie Jr. and a couple other people like Inferno Plus and Maxor kind of inspired my my editing style for like shitpost, because this is a shitpost. It's not really something that's gonna be super duper clean. Um, but like for sure, like the Munchie Jr. video where in Rev 2 where Kai does Greet Sever and he goes like flying into the air. And uh it's a classic video. If you haven't seen it, I think the video is like the 190 frame unblockable or something like that. You could probably just look up Munchie Jr.'s YouTube account and you'll probably find it. But um I don't know. There's other genres of videos like that where like character just runs across the screen. I don't know who made it, but someone made like a Strive version of it, but for like Kai, he did like stun edge, RC, and then like runs across like 4 or 5 different scenes, and then finally throws May. So it's a pretty good bit in the FGC as far as like shit posts go. So I figured I'd try my hand at it. So I enlisted the help of my good friend, that boy Chia. I literally just was in VC with him on Discord. I was just like, hey, we should play Uni, but I need a really big favor. I need you to pick default color gourd. I need you to play me, and I need to like I need to be able to like let you like win Vorpal Well, it wasn't really like let you win, but it was more like, hey, if you do win Vorpal, just like start backdashing. And admittedly, he was supposed to also force function as well, but the original footage where he just kind of spams backdash is like especially funny. So that's what we ended up with. So a good portion of this stuff is like already. I'm gonna mute this. Um, a good portion of the video is just a normal Under Night match. Like you wouldn't suspect anything. Because I titled the video on Twitter like Gore plays the most seconds to get backdash, right? So here is where we kind of have like the magic happen here. Um, so he starts backdashing here, and I because of the UI for Under Night with the character cut in when they win Vorpal and the grid Vorpal notification, I had to wait for that to go away. So once it went away, after a few more frames, I caught him like backdashing, and then I replaced him with a with the actual backdash animation, which is this. If you go on a website called Fighting Game Sprites, or if you just look up Fighting Game Sprites, on the first results, you'll find a huge website archive of just multiple fighting games just with their sprites. And they have stuff for Uni 2, Celeste. So I was like, you know what? We're going to go ahead and just use this website. And I grabbed Gordo's sprites. I have like a bunch of sprites of all. I mean, I don't have all the characters, but I feel like I'll just grab all of them anyway. But I just animated the frames in DaVinci. Still kind of like amateur hour here. This is still kind of my first foray into editing, and I hope that later videos I can look back on this one and be like, damn, I came a far way. But how I animated this was I basically just I took every like frame that he has for his backdash, which is just like this, just like animation here. It's just like 2 frames. He just kind of cycles back and forth in between. You can see it's even numbered, so it's like 491, 492. So I kind of like extended the frames, and I extended the frames this way because it looked really jank if I just kept it. If I just like alternate between the two, it'll like spaz out. It will look really unclean. So I decided that's not what I wanted. So these all have green screen, and you can just remove the green screen. And DaVinci, anyway, I don't know how you would do it in other programs, but you use OpenFX 3D Keyer, and right here where you see like, oh, it doesn't show up on OBS. That's weird. There's an option that you can click in this little like rectangle like drop down. It'll say like open fusion overlay, and if you draw on screen, it'll like see what color you're trying to get rid of, and it'll just get rid of it. And you can kind of see like if you don't turn the display up, it kind of still has that green like outline on it. But you can just get rid of that and make it look more clean. So yeah, so I just animated his backdash and brought it over here, and I pulled him out of frame. Now pulling him out of frame was like that was probably the biggest challenge for this. And it's also why I mentioned the whole like object deletion thing, because obviously it would be nice if I could just delete like Gordo himself and just like slap in the animation here. So you can see like up here. So these other shots that you're seeing here, these are effectively just still these are like recordings of this like exact well, this near exact position. It's not exactly clean, as you can see. If you're observant, you can obviously tell that Gordo is like not he's no longer the same Gordo that's in game. He's like an animation. He's like his color changes, and I mean his Vorpal status is like completely gone. But also you can clearly see a line shift over. You can see like the background up here is like slightly off. Trees up off, the lines are ground off, and the dust trail for his actual backdash is also off. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like no one's gonna really notice it. Kind of like a blinking and miss it kind of thing. Like if you're really like looking and combing over details, you'll probably see it. Um, but yeah, uh, most people wouldn't notice. And then I just dragged him through different stages here. Now I deleted it over here in the media pool. But the original idea I was gonna have was that he was gonna backdash to a melty stage. This is the astral prison for multi blood type Lumina. Then the SF4, I'm sorry, SF6 training stage, and then a Blaze Blue stage. This is the monorail stage. So this stage originally, what I was gonna do was I was gonna have Gordo backdash through a actual match of a fighting game. And I wanted to use the incident that Killer Kobe had versus Monarch at Common Breaker last year, where he basically had Monarch get the rights, but when he put his controller down, he accidentally canceled his super, and Monarch realized it before he could, so he took advantage of the situation and just like killed Killer Kobe. But I wanted to have like Gordo backdash. The problem though was that Gord was gonna like be kind of like in front of them on the foreground instead of like in the background. And I couldn't find a real good way to like do that convincingly. And I thought it would look a little too jarring. Even for shitpost, I thought it would be a little too jarring if he was just like in front of the characters fighting. Um I had another idea where I was gonna find a match where there were two characters who were like jumping and I'm gonna have them like slide underneath them by doing this, but again, for a shit post, that was probably too much effort. Would have been funny, yes. And maybe maybe next time I do something like this, maybe I'll consider uh I can consider something like that. But yeah, so there's three stages to kind of get the point across. Not I don't want to make the video too long. It's already kind of long enough leading into the incident. So he goes to three different stages, and then he stops on a completely different stage. And then yeah, and then he does the rusty nail. Yeah, I had to do a different take on this. I'm just not noticing a mistake here as well. There's too much of a gap here on the sound bite. Well, no, actually no, that's fine. That's probably fine. Um, but I had to use a different audio take for Rusty Nail. For whatever reason, when they re-recorded the lines for Under Night 2, the way he says Rusty Nail is kind of like subdued, if that makes sense. Um, it's just really kind of like unconvincing the way he says it. In the old game, he'd be saying like "rusty nail," right? But he kind of says like "rusty nail." You know, he kind of sounds more like tempered about it as opposed to like aggressive. I mean, obviously when he does it versus Wagner, he's like extremely aggressive. But I don't even think he says "rusty nail" versus Wagner. I think he kind of like grunts at her because he doesn't like Wagner. Killed her friend. Killed his friend. So uh an actual footage of this is actually just uh yeah, the actual footage of this is actually just Merkava also hiding back here. As he does Rusty Nail as it whiffs and do a zoom in on Gordon. As you can see here as well, that Gordon is also here, force functioning as well. This joke also kind of doubles as a like Marth grab range kind of bit. Um, where he's like backdashing through three stages, ends up on a completely different stage, somehow still manages to force function, still manages to hit you on the original stage you started on. I just made the audio like super loud as well. It was kind of quiet initially, but I thought it'd be funnier if it was like really loud near the end. All while Gore's theme is playing in the background. So yeah, there's a lot of things. I also thought about throwing in this stage as well, but uh, no dice on that one. But yeah, you can just see here like I had to like this is how I had to take the pictures. I had Koski jumping, and I just cropped it out. um, stuff like that. This is the actual match footage. But yeah, the video was pretty well received. A lot of people liked it. Um, I saw a bunch of people adding that boy Chia on Twitter. A lot of people don't seem to. A lot of people think that he was just like doing this in a for real match. Not realizing that I had to ask him like, hey, can you like do this for me real quick? So, um, yeah, not really too much else to say about this video. Just kind of gives you a bit of insight on like the workflow and how much can go into this stuff and how I have to like solve problems uh for making some of these videos because it can get a little weird. It's not like it's not like bad. I mean, I'm having fun making them. I made like a couple of these so far, so there's that. I think I'm gonna try to upload a video about the editing process on my second channel. Maybe go a bit more in depth on how I did things. Maybe once. Goal is twice a week. Excuse me. The goal is twice a week, but uh, at the very least, once a week. Just whatever video I'm making, whatever project I'm making, just kind of talk about it. It has to be a finished product. I don't want to like tease things. I could do like some teaser stuff. Um, I would probably imagine uh, most people probably wouldn't be super duper interested, but for people who really want to know, they can like kind of get a sneak peek on some stuff. Well, we'll play it by ear. I mean, got my Twitter account for that kind of stuff anyway. So this is the end of the video. If you're uh, if you're interested in these little funny ha-has, my Twitter is @OnyxDude, and my second account is the name of this channel, which is BlackRock Editor, and my YouTube channel, my main YouTube channel, is also OnyxDude. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.